Hello and welcome back. Today, we would like to make a brief introduction about how to design a competency-based English for specific purposes or ESP syllabus. By the end of this mini lecture, you are expected to be able to describe in your own words the nature of competency-based language instruction, which is henceforth referred to as CBLI for short. In addition, it is also expected that you will be able to explain why CBLI and ESP can be integrated into a single syllabus, list out key steps in building up such a syllabus, and discuss its strengths and weaknesses. Let's start this mini lecture by a common definition of CBLI. To put it simply, CBLI is an approach to language teaching that focuses on the outcome of learning, or in other words, the language competencies which learner needs to master by the end of a language course in order for them to carry out a particular real-life task. In a language course for flight attendants, for example, learners are expected to be able to use the target language to welcome passengers on board, give clear safety instruction, or offer food and drink. Or in a language course for hotel receptionists, learners are supposed to develop such language competencies as dealing with room booking phone calls, check-in and check-out conversations. These competencies should be well defined before a course starts, as they will guide the selection of teaching content, instructional materials, teaching methods, and assessment practices. In addition, these competencies will also be the building blocks of the course. CBLI and ESP can be integrated into a single syllabus as they share important characteristics as follows. First, they both focus on learners with very specific language needs. Second, they both start with identification of typical language tasks that learners need to carry out in real life. Combining learners' needs and characteristics of those language tasks, they both build up a set of specific language competencies that learners need to master by the end of a language course. These competencies, in turn, help course designer to select relevant teaching contents, instructional material, suitable teaching methods, and assessment practices. As already mentioned, the very first step in constructing a competency-based ESP syllabus is to define a set of language competencies that learners need to obtain in order to complete their professional tasks. These competencies, in turn, guide course designer in choosing teaching content, methods, and assessment practices. When the syllabus has already been built up, the corresponding course will be experimented. The final step in this cycle is to gather data for the course evaluation and improvement. It should be noted that this cycle might be repeated several times until the course designer feels satisfied with the quality of the course. Unlike in the case of traditional language courses, where the teacher works as a knowledge provider, the teacher in a competency-based ESP course is a facilitator of the learning process. Put differently, the teacher is here to provide support when learners need it, and then withdraw this support when learners show some sign of independence in their learning processes. Having that said, we mean that learners in such a course are active agents in their learning processes. They also have a voice in deciding what to learn, and how to be assessed. Regarding assessment practices, a competency-based ESP course often seeks to balance between formative and summative assessment. The teacher, on the one hand, might use results from assessment practices to help learners to learn better or to inform their own instructional practice. On the other hand, the teacher can base on results from a final achievement test, for instance, to make decisions regarding whether learners should pass or retake the course. For both formative and summative assessment, learners' performance should be evaluated against the target language competencies. Some commonly used assessment tools in this course are simulations, where learners are put in a scenario resembling their real-life professional task, or on-site performance, where they are required to carry out that professional task in real environment. Their language use is recorded and then rated. An important quality of assessment practices in such a course is the authenticity of assessment tasks, or the degree to which those tasks are close to the real-life professional tasks. So far, you have gone through key features in the competency-based ESB syllabus and how to build it up. Now, could you please self-assess whether you have been able to define CBLI in your own words? Explain why CBLI and ESB can be integrated into a single syllabus. Describe the major steps in constructing a competency-based ESB syllabus and discuss its strengths and weaknesses. If your answer to each question above is yes, congratulations for having achieved our lesson goals. If no, could you please come back to reading 1 again for more details or discuss your problems with peers in the same cohort or with the course coordinators? Thank you.